So, Jeannie awakens some hours later, an awful headache, reeking of beer, uh, in a dark room, in an uncomfortable straw bed. Um, you you appear to have been stripped of your clothes, but after some quick searching, you find your backpack beside the bed. What do you wear under your fancy silks? Okay, your small clothes are still on. I think you're muted, Neil.
Oh my bad. So I asked if I was stripped of my clothes. Apparently, I'm wearing just my small clothes,
Yes.
and which I think for Genie are maybe not silk boxer briefs, but definitely like satin briefs. I think is exactly what it is. Like little tidy whities, but they're made out of satin.
Yeah. So you're in this dark room, stripped to your waist, but it appears that your things are piled beside the bed. In fact, stacked neatly.
I immediately rife through them for my clothing.
You do not find your clothing.
Do I find my sword and shield?
Um, let me see. Alas, neither your sword nor your shield.
What about the ingredients that I asked for from the barman? But I don't have my
Um,
spells memorized anymore, right? I was knocked unconscious.
um, sure, whatever. Yeah, I hadn't. I don't. What do the books say on that subject? I don't think they say anything.
They don't say anything.
I
That's
think
it.
you've.
Okay.
I think you've still got your spells memorized,
Okay.
but I'll have to think on that. I'm not going to make a permanent decision. But you've still got your spells memorized.
Okay. I get
Your
up
sword and
and
your shield are missing, as well as your coin purse.
so it's just my backpack, which is actually
Yes.
pretty much empty. In fact, I probably didn't even carry my backpack into the bar. I think I have my backpack is stowed in my saddlebags, which is where my spellbook is. My spellbook is in my saddlebag, so it's nice and safe. I th- yeah. So I would have a knife unless they took the knife off me too.
Your knife is sitting on the bedside table, along with your
Okay.
belt.
I draw. Oh, I put on my belt, so I'm wearing a belt and underwear.
So is that really all that you have on your character sheet,
Yeah,
besides the sword, the shield? Okay, so I guess you don't have your stuff. I guess there wasn't any stuff to have.
it's like a belt and a knife on the bedside table.
Yes.
And the half vial of perfume was probably actually in my saddlebags as well. I should just move it over there. Okay, there we go. Okay. Fucking geckos are so loud. All right, go for it. Uh,
You're alone, and
is there
some
light by which to see?
uh, there is only the faintest of light. There is a window with the blind the curtains drawn, and you can see some small light creeping through.
I shoulder up to the window from the side and peer out,
Why can't I
action
get?
movie style.
Where the hell are my dice in Roll20? Whatever. It sucks trying to roll a d28 without Roll20. Okay. Yeah, you can see some moonlight shining from behind the curtains. You slide up to the wall and peer out the curtain,
Mm-hmm.
and you gaze out upon the moonlit swamp.
Am I on the
Um,
first or second floor?
you are on a second story window. Looking out, you see nothing in sight. Like no other structures,
I look.
no signs of
Okay.
life. Um, Far in the distance, you see what looks like a ridge line. Maybe,
A mountain range of
maybe
sorts.
no, just like a cliff, or like a bluff set of bluffs.
Hmm.
Um, but fog seems to sort of hangs over the top of the ridge line and billows off the top. The the half full moon is occasionally obscured by clouds, but it sheds a fair bit of light
Hmm.
on the land below.
I take a quick glance around the room. Is there a mirror anywhere?
There is not. It's quite plain. There's a small dresser beside the bed,
I go
and
through
another
the drawers.
and a chair across the room.
I go through the doors of the dresser.
Um, they are all empty. There's one small drawer and one large drawer.
Hmm. Hmm. I. Out the window or out the door? I don't like the feel of this place, but I can't just climb out the window. That would be like admitting defeat. And the lesser man could do that, but not Genie. So I go for the door and listen at it to hear if there's anything on the other side.
Roll a perception check.
18.
Yeah, why can't I can't get to the dice screen on roll 20. I may need to reload things.
Is the button broken?
I clicked the chat button. Yeah, it's broken. I don't know. I'll refresh the page. 18. You hear nothing from the other side of the door. Silence.
I mumble a quick prayer to Bellum. Put my hand on the doorknob, and open it.
The door creaks open, revealing a hallway before you. Did you actually put a character sheet into roll 20?
I cannot. I am not the GM.
Then how did you do like makes a perception check?
It's a quick macro because if you do the like slash me, if you type slash me in something, it does that.
You fat on the DM.
It's supposed to be fart. Whoops. And then a macro is just like a string of commands put in a row. So it's just like slash me rolls a blah blah blah. Enter slash r 1d20 plus 12. It's like super simple. I was trying to make the fancy ones, but I couldn't figure out how, so I made these instead.
Cool. Anyways, creak. The door slides open, and you see a hallway heading left and right. Uh,
Can I tell
there
if there's
are
a staircase on either side?
you do see a staircase to your left, and then there are doors on the side of the hallway that you are on.
Okay. What's to the right?
More hallway.
More
Um,
doors?
it ends and then goes and then rounds a corner. Yes, there are a few more doors down the hallway.
I'm going to go right.
Okay, you pass several doors.
I
Which one?
want to stop at the first door and listen.
Roll a perception check.
29.
You're pretty sure there's nothing going on in this room.
Hmm.
Or nothing.
Okay.
Only silence.
I move on to the next one where I listen again.
Yeah. Roll a perception check.
Another 29.
This room also sounds empty.
Is there a third door before it
Given the
turns?
sound of your creaking footprints. There is a third. Roll another perception check, however.
Another 29.
Yeah. You hear some creaking of footprints coming down the hallway around the corner.
I brace. Uh, I want to prepare an action. If I deem the target to be a threat, I want to tackle it when
How?
it
All
shows up.
right.
If anyone's armed, basically. So
He has arms.
I get in a, I get in a slightly crouched stance, and I don't draw my knife. But if something walks around that corner, I'm not and doesn't look friendly. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. So stepping around the corner is a human-sized man, stooped,
This is the bartender.
wearing black and white suit. Yes, it is. It is the bartender. What the hell was his name? Barrows. He
Barrows.
appears to have a fistful of something in one hand and a large silver tray in the other.
Oh, you
Ah,
spooked me.
Master Genie, I see you have awoken.
Where are my clothes?
They're just drying now. I saw to them.
Oh,
He takes a few creaking steps toward
I
you.
straighten up. Thank you.
I got the things you asked for. In his left hand, he holds up and presents what he was holding. And it appears to be 3 rats that he is holding by the tail.
Live rats.
Dead rats.
Thank you. I pull out my knife, and as he holds them by the tail, I just go and cut off their whiskers.
Okay.
I don't have any belt pouches.
No.
I just
The
hold them in my
tray appears
hand.
to have the assortment of objects you had requested, the various spell components, as well as another red crystal glass with the liquid in it.
Okay.
Come, come, let's get back to you. Let's get you back to your room. You took a nasty blow there. Needing your rest.
What
Drink up.
happened?
Drink up.
What happened to those ruffians? I say, ignoring the drink as I walk back to the room.
Why, the Johnson boys beat you up something awful. I must say I am sorry for that.
Well, what's happened to them? Have they fled? He says, hoping that they did, but not wanting to make it sound like he's hoping that they left.
Yes, yes. They were gone by the time I returned to the common room.
If I wasn't in such a hurry, I would track them down and see them put in the stockades for a week. But as I said earlier, I'm much in a hurry. I guess I go back to my room and set the rat whiskers down on the nightstand. And there's also did he get me sand, multicolored sand?
Yeah, yeah, he did.
Is it just like
He
sitting on
lays.
the tray?
No, it's in pouches. If you were, did you say I need red, I need yellow, I need blue?
Yes.
So there's a pouch of each color.
Okay. So
Yeah. Stepping into the room, you actually notice your shield leaning up against the wall of the corner that you had missed before.
okay.
You get a different perspective walking into the room versus
Cool.
looking back out.
And there's the small silver mirror as well.
There is a small silver mirror.
How much does that weigh?
Negligible.
Okay.
10 to the pound. There's only one.
Um,
It's probably a little larger than you wanted. But
and there's a little pouch of bitumen.
a jar of bitumen. Yes.
jar. With the glass, does that weigh anything?
A ceramic jar. Like half a pound. I don't think you're going to be encumbered, are you?
No.
So you can say it's negligible.
Well, you never know. I want to keep weights just in case.
Yeah.
I have these whiskers. I just need a spider, I
What do you
think.
do with the rest of the rats?
Oh, I put them on the tray that he brought and let him take them away when he leaves.
Hmm.
I think those were the only things that I wanted.
I. All right. He sets the drink on the table and takes the silver tray away. I'm afraid it will be a few more hours before your shirt is dry. I can fetch you a robe for the time being.
I would appreciate that. Thank you. Have you seen my sword? Did those scallywags take off with it?
I'm afraid I did not see a sword.
A bastard sword for a bastard.
Would it have been affixed to your belt?
It would
Or
have been
was it?
attached to my belt. Yeah.
Okay. Then you have an empty scabbard, which you probably would have noticed before,
Right.
but I didn't. I
It's,
didn't think of it.
it's fine.
Yeah, they would not have taken the time to remove your scabbard from your belt.
Well then, perhaps in the morning when I'm rested, I will have to track down these. Would you call them Johnson boys?
Yes, master. He slips out of the room. You are perfectly. You're at full life. You're well enough rested. The temporary damage has subsided.
Hmm.
You'll have to wait if you want to rememorize spells, but I'll let you keep what you had in your memory before.
This is perfect. I just tuck the silver mirror into my belt because it doesn't have a pouch. Um,
Do you take the drink or leave
that's
it
the
alone?
question, isn't it? Ah. Yeah, yeah. I'm sitting there. I'm waiting. This guy's been great to me. He brought me all my spell components. He's been fantastic. If he wanted to kill me, he could have killed me. If he wanted to, you know, grape dungeon me, he could have grape dungeoned me. There's no reason to suspect poison in the drink. I sip my drink, kick my feet up on the bed, and
It's
play
another
with my
rum and root
minion.
beer, but no reason to suspect poison in the drink. After what
No.
happened last week, you should be on the lookout for poison around every corner. No, it's another rum and root beer.
Good, good.
No mint in the glass this time, but tastes delicious. Your stomach is rumbling, but
It's okay.
the drink will tide you over for the time being.
Okay. I kick my feet up and just kind of wait around for my clothes or a robe or something.
Yeah, he returns a few minutes later with a pale blue robe.
Okay.
Um,
I don the robe and I say, "Can I get some
doesn't
supper?"
yeah. The
I
robe doesn't quite seem to cover you up all the way.
It's okay. I put my
It
belt
appears
on around the
kind of
robe.
strange. Like it doesn't.
Oh, it's like a
Like it seems like
half.
there's a lot of fabric in the back, and you're sort of fumbling with it.
Okay.
Um, yeah, but Barrows did not stick around to see.
Okay.
It's ill-fitting, or perhaps you're putting it on backwards, or
I play with it a little bit. If I can't get it to work, I just put it on as best as I can and strap my belt around it.
it seems like it was cut to have the flap in the back, to have the slit down the back, which seems absolutely absurd. So you
Like
can
a
wear it,
hospital gown?
yeah, something along those lines. So you can wear it front ways, but just like the arms bend weird and the fabric bunches strange in the back, and like your
And your
belly
butt
button
hangs
is.
out?
No, well, that's how it's. I mean, that's the way that it's most comfortable to wear with the slaps down the back.
I wear it that way then.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, I'd have to like tie it behind me, and it'd be awkward and
Yeah, because the
uncomfortable.
arms are like set going the wrong way, so it just bunched funny. So that you were fumbling with it on that way at first, like a regular robe, and
Hmm.
then you put it on with the slit down the back.
All right. I kick my feet up in bed and play with my bitumen while I make. Is the bartender here, or did he already take off?
He dropped off the robe and took off.
Okay. I wait for him to bring me my clothes while I
Okay.
ponder what I should do with the boys once I find them and get my sword back. The stockades for a week sounds good, maybe a month.
Okay. So you wait some hours.
Hours? Yeah, I'll wait like an hour and then I'll get bored.
Okay. An hour passes, and you've been alone in this room,
Where has he gone off to?
sitting in this rocking chair.
I get up, take my gear, and I go the same way that I came before, not towards the staircase, but to the right.
Hmm.
I wonder where he was coming from, I think to myself. In fact, what is over there that he on the second floor? I make my way to the right and continue.
Okay. Okay. You make your way down the hall and come to the end. Roll a perception check.
Where's my 18?
Yeah. You round the corner and come face to face with Barrows. He shuts the door behind him and he says, "Oh, I was. Hello.
Hello. My clothes.
I'm not sure that they're dry, but come, let me fetch them. They're downstairs." And he ushers you back the way you came.
Okay. I follow him with some suspicion.
Okay.
Say, what is behind that door?
He ignores you and continues walking down the hall, down the stairs and back to the bar room, which is empty and dim. Wait here. I'll fetch your silks.
So we're downstairs together?
Yeah, he leaves you in the bar room, and goes back behind the bar.
Okay. I wait.
He comes back a couple minutes later with your silk clothes.
I take off my robe. I put on my clothes.
They're slightly damp, a little uncomfortable, but
It's
they're
fine.
clean and they don't smell like booze. At least
It's nice.
they've got a nice fresh scent, sandalwood.
Hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Um, I look around. The woman and the children are gone.
Yes, it's utterly empty.
Okay.
He looks to you expectantly.
Well then, if you could bring me some supper, if it's not too late, if the kitchen isn't closed, that would be fantastic. And then off to bed, and then I will depart for my aunt's house in the morning.
Very well. Very well.
I sit down and wait for supper.
Okay. It takes. I mean, he fires up the grill or whatever, but it takes like a half hour to get things
Okay.
going and cooks eggs and some sausage and some toast.
The tension keeps building. Oh
Big
God.
heaping pile of beans and brings it to you. By the time you've got dinner in front of you, um, you can see. Actually, you can't see. Can you see? You can see through the windows. They don't face east, but you can see the black making way to gray, and you think that the sun is just about to come up.
Is it morning already? I murmur to myself. In fact, I ask the barman, "Is it morning already?
Why, just about. You were out for a couple of hours.
Have you been up all night?"
Indeed. It's about time I get some rest. If you're fed, I would take my leave.
Of course, of course. Good job. Thank you, good sir. I turn away from him on the stool and pull out my mirror to inspect my teeth and try and get a glance of him in the mirror.
Oh, I thought you were worried that he was stealing your teeth.
Oh no.
Yes, indeed. He casts a reflection.
All right. Okay.
He did.
Do I have all my teeth?
Yes, yeah. Well, he heads up the stairs.
Okay. I finish up my food and I'm determined to find out what's in that room that he won't talk about. It's got to be something good. I first pop outside to double check my horse is still there. Is Fancy intact?
Fancy may very well be intact, but she's not affixed to the hitching post.
Good, good. I can use that as an excuse if I run into him and it's a normal room. I finish my food and head upstairs to that room that I saw him come out of.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The words to Color Spray dancing in my mind.
Yeah, you head up the stairs. Down the hallway, past 4 doors,
mm-hmm.
and around the corner, which continues. It looks like to the far side of the building, but there is a door to your left.
That's the door that he comes out of?
The door that you bumped into him coming out of.
I cozy up to the door, put my ear to it, and give a listen.
Roll
25.
You can hear some commotion on the other side. It sounds like some slight movement. Nothing crazy, but it sounds like there's someone in there up to something.
But just people moving around. There's no whispered hushes of agony. Person. People, multiple?
No, you said people. I was saying people or person. It doesn't sound. I mean, it doesn't sound like an army.
It does sound like a single.
Yeah.
Is there a keyhole that I can look through? I do have 60-foot infravision.
There is a keyhole. Roll another perception check to see how well you can
30. That. It's even better than the last one. I bet you're regretting that decision now.
Yeah. You can see a human figure hunched across the room, and the rapid movement of maybe a half dozen other forms. Small creatures.
How small? Like tiny sized? Like rat-sized creatures?
About that size.
Are they quadrupeds on the ground?
It's hard to tell. It's
a keyhole.
The room does appear to. There is a flickering candlelight within the room.
I give a knock on the door. I stand up and give a knock on the door.
Do you stay looking at the keyhole?
No. I stand up and act normal.
Yes.
My horse. Where is my horse?
Horse. Just a minute.
Fancy.
You hear the click of a lock and the creak of the door, and you see Barrow's face peek out from the crack. I'm afraid the Johnson boys probably took it.
Well then, I need
took
you to
her.
point me in the direction of the Johnson boys. They have my horse and my sword. And they assaulted a noble.
He steps out of the room, shutting the door behind him. Well, the Johnson boys are employed at Haverford Reach, but I wouldn't go there if I were you.
Why?
It's Lord Haverford is finicky about his property.
Then he should be
Tres-
most
trespass-
understanding.
Trespassers are generally shot on sight.
Even visiting dignitaries?
He sort of looks you up and down, shrugs. The Reach is to the east, across the river. But as I said, I would advise against it. Perhaps I could draft a letter, and we could send it to him, explaining the situation.
I do not have time for riders. Not to mention, wouldn't the rider be shot on sight? How does one get a letter to a man who kills all who enters his land?
Why? That's a good question.
Hmm.
Where have the letters been going all this time? He sort of scratches his chin, ponders this dully.
Well, give me directions as best you can. I'm sure there's some sort of bridge to cross and land to enter. I needn't see Mr. Haverford himself. Just find these Johnson boys. They'll be the ones riding a horse and swinging a sword, probably lopping fingers off as they go.
East, he says.
East,
The land east of the ridge line is his, across the river.
of course. Thank you.
Do be careful.
If you would be so kind as to draft a letter to my aunt, Jeannie Marmol, explaining her my presence here and whatever bill I have racked up. I'm sure she will cover the poultry expenses.
Uh, Indeed, right away.
Good
You
man.
can see yourself out.
Yes, yes.
Perhaps I better.
I shrug and make my way for the front door. All my gear together. I got my I go and get my shield if I don't have it on me.
Right. He comes following after as if to escort you out, but it sounds like you are already seeing yourself out.
Yeah.
So he sort of follows you to the top of the staircase and watches you leave.
Okay. All right. I head east.
And, you step out onto the road, which runs like, judging by the sun, probably northwest. You came from like the southeast. Your building blocks your view to the east. The sun rising up, just peeking above the horizon.
I walk around the building and head towards the sun.
Okay. The fog appears to have cleared for the most part. Yeah. It's actually a nice sunny day, although quite chilly. And your clothes are damp and you're actually quite uncomfortable.
Well, nothing you can do but be uncomfortable or naked. And I choose uncomfortable.
Sure you don't want to rethink that decision?
I am positive. Shield strapped to my arm. No sword in hand. Although if I have my knife, I still get my sword and shield fighting style because it's one-handed weapon.
Fair enough.
Um,
All right. So you travel off road, making your way through the muck. It's grass, muddy grass. So they're going slow, but it's not exactly swamp at this point. And
okay.
it slopes gradually downward. You can see the ridge line perhaps a mile off.
I just go. I make good time. I make the best time that I can.
Okay. About let's think. It takes almost an hour. Like the slipping and the sliding in the mud. Roll a dexterity check. Oh, your dexterity sucks, doesn't it?
It does. It really, really does.
Oh, what? Roll 20 keeps like popping out.
20.
Holy shit! You keep your fresh, clean silks untainted by the mud.
Not a natural
It's
20, but a total of 20.
oh, what? Okay, never mind then. You get a little bit of muck on you.
Okay.
I was looking at where is there that critical? What did? Oh, I guess Nafara rolled some natural 20 at some point, and I saw that. Anyways, yeah. So you splatter your silks with some mud. What did you do with the robe? Did you leave it behind?
Oh, yeah, I left it in the bedroom.
Okay. Yeah. So an hour later, little muddier, a little more frustrated, kind of damp. You reach the bank of a large river. It's about 100 some odd feet wide and running pretty quickly. The bluffs on the other side tower 30, 40 feet.
Is there a bridge?
Not where you are.
So it's like river and then just bluff on the other side.
Yeah, I mean, there's some points where like maybe you could. I mean, there's maybe a little bit of shore at the river level, but mostly it's a sheer cliff
But
that
no
meets
one
the
in their
river.
right mind would cross here. This is not the way
No,
that you would take a horse if you were going east.
no.
Okay. I look up and down. Does it look like the bluff's lower on one side or the other, or like there's a bridge on one side or the other?
Roll a perception check.
Natural one.
God damn it. Natural one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have no idea.
I take a right and head south.
Yeah. Um, okay. You head south for a few minutes. What's your armor?
12 with my shield and knife in
Okay.
hand, but
You're
10.
you're not surprised, and you catch it in time to see a bolt whirling across the river, and you catch it in your shield with a loud thump. Roll initiative, maybe.
Yes. G plus. I'm going to get color spray ready, but I need to see a target first if I'm going to cast it. But that will be my action this round. Whoops, that should be a D10, but it doesn't matter. 5 is my
Okay.
initiative.
You go first.
I look across the river. Do I see a target?
Roll another perception check.
29.
Yeah, you see a pair of figures across the river on the ridgeline.
Okay.
With 29, one of them appears to be elevated, perhaps atop a horse.
I shout, "Stop that, damn you!" as I quickly dig into my pouches with my offhand, with my dagger holding hand, pull out some sand and sprinkle it before me.
What's the range of
And
color spray?
range. Oh no, if 20 by 20 by 5 wedge. They're
Yeah,
well outside of 20 feet, aren't they?
yeah, they're like 100 plus feet across this river.
Okay, I don't color spray them then. Um,
Uh, you hear a shout from across the river.
okay, I guess I'm just hiding behind my shield, taking the total defense where I can add 1 plus half my level. So 2, I guess, to my AC. It's a parry move from the player's handbook.
Mm-hmm.
And I continue heading. Actually, it's a no
So,
move action.
so what
So
would your total AC be?
14, I think.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and I shout across the river,
Another bolt goes sailing dangerously close to you, sinking into
"Confound it! Stop firing! I am Genie Salwag, and I am here to find the Johnson brothers."
you stand there shouting at them.
Yeah. If I don't get a reply, I'm going to start moving deeper away from the river.
Okay, I'll be generous and give it to you. So you move into their medium range, which is enough to cause the bolt to miss.
Oh, was that about to hit me?
Yeah,
Okay.
and probably kill you.
All right. Confound it. How did they get across that damn river? I mutter as I kind of put some more distance between myself and them. Um,
Um, yeah, they they fire another bolt harmlessly at long range. Where do you go?
I want to continue heading south. Um, the sun's coming up, right?
Yeah, it's just yeah,
There's no way I
early
can
morning.
swim across the river. You said it's 100 or so feet?
Yeah,
Okay. I'll move my shield to my back. Damn it, Sanctuary still requires my holy symbol. I could really use that Sanctuary. I could swim 100 feet in a round,
mm-hmm.
but I can't
I
cast
swore
Sanctuary.
you bought a holy symbol. Did you pawn it for your silk?
Maybe I just didn't write it down.
I don't know. Someone in chat comes to your rescue.
Because I did spend 25 gold on a holy symbol, didn't I?
I thought so, but if it's not on your character sheet, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm usually really good about tracking everything.
Saradiki says you did not buy a holy symbol, but I don't know if he's referring to today or last week. Anyways, so you go back to the river some ways down the banks.
Yeah. Keeping my shield up and looking around, seeing if I can't, see if there's anyone on the other side.
Roll a perception check.
Man.
Sanctuary requires a holy symbol and the little mirror.
Yeah. 30 on the perception.
Yeah, you don't think you see the Johnson boys across the river here
Well,
when you head back to the bank.
it's now or never. I put the shield on my back. Um, Shift my
Can
components. Is there
can you
any?
swim?
No, but I can doggy paddle. Is the river moving quickly?
It's a good sized river. I mean, you can doggy paddle.
Bellum, watch over me as I wade into the river slowly. 100 feet is. It's probably an intimidating distance if you can't swim, but it's not actually that far.
Roll a strength check.
19.
You get you make it about halfway down the river or halfway across the river, and the current's much swifter than it looks, and you get swept some ways downstream. What crap do you have on your character sheet?
The water...
You
Go ahead.
lose one of the bags of sand
Okay.
and roll another strength check.
It is my third bag. It is my blue sand, which is really unfortunate. What?
Do you need all of the colors in order to?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
It says blue, red, and yellow.
Yes. There's an and in there. Yep. Pinch of each powder of sand. Yeah, that is colored red, yellow, or blue. 30 on the strength check, but I lose my bag.
Okay. So you make it to the far side of the river, but you meet a cliff face. You latch on to the cliffs.
Mm-hmm.
Is all of your shit's just soaked, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm just completely sopping wet now. Except for my bitumen. That's dry. Oh, I didn't know what pouch I put my rat whiskers in. I wouldn't have put them in with the bitumen. I would have put them in one of the jars of sand. So I'm just or one of the pouches of sand. So I'm gonna roll a d3 to figure out which one.
Yeah.
One. Okay, it's in the red sand in a pouch with whiskers. Cool.
Yeah, you get swept into a small little cove or something off the river.
Okay.
The water's calmer here, but you're looking up at sheer cliffs.
Were the other guys up on the cliffs?
Yeah, they were up on the cliffs, taking pot shots at you from across the river.
Okay. Well, now that I'm here on the cliffside, I want to try and scale them.
Yeah.
How tall are they?
Like 30, 40 feet.
So I could...
Dex is
5.
Shit. Let's have you roll a climbing check.
What do I roll for a climbing check?
I think it's a base of 60.
No, that's for thieves.
Okay. There's not even a I guess if you were a thief, I mean, they don't even have a
40% unskilled climber.
And I guess there's no penalty for dex because,
yeah. Page 161 for climbing stuff.
Okay.
I don't know if any of these things apply.
Let me take a look. 61. I've got a different edition. It's under time and movement, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Chapter 14.
Yeah.
Do you have a different edition of the book?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, that's a DMG. I was Player's Handbook.
Oh. Okay. Here we go. So 40%.
I have to go after this horse because it's got my spell book and my vial of perfume.
Yeah, there are abundant handholds. You are wet, but the surface isn't. Fine. I'll give you minus 10% for you being wet.
Okay.
So total of 70%. Don't fuck up. The fuck roll 20. Oh, there we go.
92.
You fuck up. I mean, you don't even make it. I mean, you scramble a little ways up the wall and fall back into the rushing or into this pool.
This is not I've lost my sword, I've lost my horse, and I've lost my spellbook. How did they get up on that cliff? Um, if only I had the spider climb spell memorized. I don't. And they have my horse, which has my spellbook, so I can't memorize it. Well, I would like to wade another. How far do
It's
you
not,
have to go? Half mile
you
down
can't
river?
you can't feel the bottom, but
Okay.
you make your way out of this pool and are swept downstream.
I'm going to stay close to the bluffs and kind of use that to support myself as I scuttle. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
roll a strength check.
I'm gonna scuttle my way. 26.
Okay, you scuttle your way. You're bashed around a little bit. But after it's really only a couple hundred feet, you find a dock built into the side of the cliff.
Oh, thank God.
There is a like a large boat pulled up along the dock, and a wooden or and a yeah, it's all made of wood.
Hmm.
And carved into the wall is a staircase leading up to the ledge.
I
Leading up
look
to
about. Were there any people?
roll a perception check.
22.
You appear to be alone
Huh.
in this brisk morning. Do you pull up to the dock,
Yeah, I step out onto the dock if I can.
pull yourself onto the dock? Chill breeze sort of chills you to the bone.
I mutter something about these damn boys are gonna probably be more trouble than they're worth. I might just want to put them down. Grumble, grumble, grumble. Shooting at a noble, they're endangering my life. And I scramble up the staircase to the bluff.
All right. You make your way to the top of the bluff and see before you a vast plain. It's still damp green grass. There are trees dotting the landscape here and there. You think you see a herd of cattle
Do I
grazing in the
see a
distance.
horseman anywhere?
Roll a perception check.
26.
Yeah, maybe like a half mile north along the bluffs. You think you can see the two figures you saw before.
Okay. I want to crouch low on the staircase so just my eyes are looking over, and I want to watch them and note, are they moving? Are they coming towards me? Are they going away? Are they heading east? Are they jumping off the bridge, off the
Yeah,
cliff into their
they appear
deaths?
to be stationary beside a couple of trees. You had trouble noticing them at first because they are standing
Right.
next to trees and they sort of
Okay. Is
blend in with
there
this
is there a
distance.
way I could schleifen around behind them?
You'd have to circle around this wide open plain.
Well, I am trained in military ways. I may be wearing my finest clothes, but if they get a little dirty, that and that needs to be done, and that needs to be done. So I get low to the ground, and I start to. Is there grass? Is there tall grass? Short grass?
It's cropped low and it's green grass, but
I'm wearing a green shirt. Perfect. I've got camo. Green shirt and brown pants. So I crawl along the ground and try and.
how far away do you stay from them?
They're a half mile, and it's just a big open area. How
Pretty much. It slopes gradually up, but it's very faint.
they're at some trees, right? So they're if I were to draw on the map, so if I am, let's see, like there's this bluff, right? Kind of like that, and there's a river down below.
Um, Here I can draw.
Okay.
Oh God, what are you?
I was drawing a
Oh.
bluff on a river.
Sure. Your color scheme is all off. It needs, yeah. It's not, your map is not north and south, but that's fine.
The river doesn't run north-south?
Not directly like this, but it's fine. You're a little
Okay, whatever.
disoriented.
Um, and I'm presuming they're, somewhere a little bit higher to the top, and I came up a staircase over here. So if there are trees, I don't know what the tree
It's
situation is
just
like.
no, it's like 3 trees that
Oh,
they're
okay.
in the shade under. Well, the sun's not even overhead, so
Okay, so it's not like there's
yeah,
a bunch of trees.
yeah, you've got the idea.
Okay. Well, then I want to swoop like that. And if this distance is a half mile, then
So
I kind of want to go a half mile this way and then like around. So I want to do that half mile on my hands and knees, not like on my belly, but hands and knees.
that's a long crawl. All
It is
right,
a
so you
long crawl.
crawl some several hundred feet, and then you glance over and you see them starting to move south
Well, I guess I am south.
along the bluff. I mean, you're now a couple hundred feet away from the
Is there
from the river.
any semblance of cover nearby?
There's a bush.
I crawl to the bush.
You crawl to the bush.
I put my face in the bush and wait for them to get closer.
Yeah, they're walking south along the river.
Couple hundred feet.
Roll a dexterity check.
Why?
Well,
Why would you do that to me?
okay. If you
18.
you can just if you hold very still, I'll give it to
I
you.
I just stick. I'm hiding the bush
If
still.
you don't move, your poor dexterity can't give you away, right?
Right, right. Knife in hand. Shield, I guess, is still on my back. But I can swing that around, no problem. So I wait. I wait for them to get near that staircase.
Yeah, they go right up to it.
Okay. As they get to the staircase, I'm going to break out into a charge. I'm charging the guy who's on the horse, and I'm going to sling my shield around, and I'm going to be I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to shout. No war cries until I'm just on them, and then I'm going to give a shout and leap at the guy on the horse and stab my knife into him.
All right, you take them unawares. You hear the one on the ground who has sleeves say to his brother, "How come you get to ride the horse?" Cause I got the sword. He says, "Well, how come you get both?" And you roll to hit.
And maybe we should do that on the other side of our break.
Sure.
Okay. See you guys in a few minutes. Bye bye.